Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Oxygen for Napey, and this is my battle for Week 1 of Season 2 of the CPC D-league. So this week I'm going up against the Brooklyn Banettes, who are coached by Napey. He is a pretty cool dude. I don't know him too well, but he seems cool. So I'll leave the link to his channel down below. I believe he has a YouTube, but yeah, definitely check him out. Seems cool. So let me go over the matchup here. So I might put screenshots of the matchup later once I get into just showing my team. But my roster right here is these 11. You got Lando, 2 Zeb Striker. He's 11. While the team I'm playing, the Brooklyn Banettes, is this team. This is not the order that it was drafted, by the way. Yeah, I've changed it a bit. But his team's got Thunderous T all the way down to Mega Steelix. Yeah, I mean, I'll just read it off, whatever. So he's got Thunder T, Tapu Lele, Rose Raid, Rotom Wash, Komodo, Mandibuzz, Heatran, Claydol, and Mega Steelix. So he only has 9 Mons. I have 11 just because I drafted some lower tier Mons, and I was able to keep more points and get more Mons. And he only has 9, but I mean, that's fine. He's got, you know, some scary threats. Mandibuzz is very fat. Tapu Lele is insane. Izzy Thundurus is a Z user, as well as Claydol, just because it's his only Pokemon under 10 points. It's not, Mega Steelix is a Mega, so, you know, he can't run Z Crystals on that. So Claydol was his only option there, so that can run Z moves, which is kind of funny. So, the main threats in this matchup, Thundurous T is pretty scary, although it's kind of weird in this game, because he needs to run a lot of coverage, right? So he needs to run Hidden Fire Ice, most likely, for my Lando. He needs to run maybe like U-turn or Sludge Bomb or something to hit Celebi. He needs to run just Electric Stab, so T will hit a lot of stuff, like Feeny, Scizor, Houndoom. And then he'll probably want like Psychic coverage, like Psychic, to hit Dragalge and I guess Hariyama too. So he needs a lot of coverage, so I don't know, it's kind of weird in this game. And for a Z Crystal, if he wants to run that, I'm thinking maybe like Electrum Z. Maybe if he wants to run Sludge Bomb, he could run a Poison MZ for Celebi. Maybe a Psyche MZ for... Yeah, I mean, a Psyche MZ is pretty good, as it can check my Dragon and Hariyama. So, you know, it's pretty nice there, but it can also be Scarfed. And one of the main flaws of his team is he does not have a lot of speed. His fastest Mon is Thundurus at 101. But outside of that, next fastest is Lele at 95, and he only has 1 Mon that's over base 100. So my plan was to really to capitalize on that, because I have some decent speed, not like a super fast team, not too many Mons that are super fast, as I said, but I do have 3 Mons over base 100 and 1 at base 100, so I was planning to use my speed this game and really capitalize on his lack of speed. Now Lele is still a big threat, could be Scarfed, Spec, Slate, Orbit hits very hard. Rose Raid could stack spikes potentially. I do have Defoggen, Feeny, and Scizor, but I don't know. I don't think either of them are great defaulters this game. But I mean, I could run it on either. Rotom's just annoying and kind of fat. It can help check Houndoom, help check Lando. Komodo could be really scary with the Dragon Dance and can run coverage at Feeny. Mandibuzz is very fat and is just annoying, and my team has quite a bit of trouble breaking it. Heatran could run rocks and be support, and you know, can help check Houndoom as well, especially with a Shuka Berry. Claydol don't really expect, could rock, spin, and then Steelix, I don't really expect either, just because I have a lot of things to pressure it, like my Celebi, Feeny, Houndoom, Hariyama. You know, I have a lot of things that really can pressure it and weaken him down, so I don't think Mega Steelix is a great bring this game, but you know, these are his only 3 rockers, so I think there's a decent chance of bringing one of them. But let's get into my team. So first off, we got Mega Houndoom. So as I said, my team is relatively fast to his, and I want to capitalize on his relative lack of speed. So Mega Houndoom outspeeds his entire team naturally, which is phenomenal for me. I think we run some Scarfer, probably Thundurus or Lele, maybe Rose Raid, but I don't like Scarf Rose Raid's the best in this matchup. Because Sludge Bomb's not super spammable, as I do have like Miss Magus and you know, Scizor and Steelix, which can take Sludge Bombs. You know, I have a lot of poison checks, so I'm playing spamming Sludge Bomb or Grass Stab is great, but you know, still, he could have potential Scarfers in Thundurus or Lele, really, or even like Claydol, I guess, or I don't know, Rotom, Komodo even. So I mean, like, he'll probably bring something Scarf, but still, Mega Houndoom outspeeds everything barring his Scarfer naturally. He'll probably only bring 1 Scarfer most, I think. I don't think he can afford to bring 2 Scarfers. He needs coverage and power. So this thing's just creeping Thundurus T, next fastest Mon. Fire Blast and Dark Pulse hits everything on his team. I hate running Fire Blast. It is a bad move, and I am contradicting myself, and I claim that I will never run Fire Blast. Flamethrower just does not quite do the job versus Mandibuzz. Fire Blast will be 2 KOing Mandibuzz after it takes rocks. That's why I'm running Fire Blast. Flamethrower does not quite get to the job, so hopefully I hit my Fire Blast if I need to. But Hidden Barrier Ground also hits Heatran, and Taunt is nice to help me stop, mainly stop Mandibuzz from healing and roosting, and then this thing can be a nice check to that, as it can weaken it down and either kill it or just keep it low if he wants to switch, but I can at least keep him low and stop him from healing, which is really nice. As Mandibuzz can't pressure me too much immediately. I think I'll run, like Flying Stab to hit me, but you know, outside of that, he might not run it. I think he will, because it also allows him to hit Hariyama and Celebi. He can hit Celebi with like anything. It's going to carry like U-turn, Foul Play, whatever. But still, Houndoom can take a hit or two from Mandibuzz and then Taunt and Fire Blast and such, and I can outspeed him. So that's really nice. So yeah, let's move on to my Mismagius here. So Scarf here, this allows me to outspeed any Scarfers on his team, as well as a +1 Komodo if that thing gets up a Dragon Dance. So D-Gleam is coverage for Komodo, as well as Mandibuzz. It's decent coverage for that. Shadow Ball and Power Gem, just nice stab and coverage. Power Gem I don't really need it, because I can still hit Thundurus with Shadow Ball and still hit Mandy with D-Gleam, but Power Gem's kind of nice in the scenario that he has Thunder around and also Mandibuzz, and I'm just trying to think what I could lock myself into. So not necessarily carrying coverage for everything, but thinking about what I could lock myself into is a pretty safe move in general. Then Trick is mainly for Mandibuzz, so that thing's a pretty nice switch into this, but if I can make a play and Trick on a switch in, or even if he's in on Mandibuzz, or even if he's Mandibuzz in on this, maybe on like a double or something, I can still Trick and get rid of that thing's whatever. Probably lefties, and then give it a Scarf and make that thing make the thing have a lot more difficult of a job, a lot more difficult of a time walling my team and being fat and annoying. So that's really cool. And it's just creeping Thundurus too, by the way. So next we got my Tapu Fini Assault Vest here. So just 4 attacks, Surf, Moonblast, Ice Beam, and Nature's Madness. So enough speed for, I think, just max speed Timid Heatran. Probably didn't need to run that much speed, but I just wanted to ensure that I outspeed that. I probably could have ran less in hindsight, but you know, I could just guarantee outspeed Heatran, which is nice. So, you know, this coverage hits everything on his team. Nature's Madness allows me to weaken down Roserade or Rotom the first time they come in on this. And then my coverage allows me to hit everything on his team, really. Surf, Moonblast hits everything barring Roserade, then Ice Beam hits that, as well as Mandibuzz, but Moonblast does more, but Ice Beam's a nice middle round play versus Mandibuzz / Roserade. Then just the rest in special attack and 4 in defense, just because, and I can have my HP stat be odd. But the reason this thing... So, it's kind of weird that I'm running a vest on this, because you usually don't see that on Fini. You usually see lefties and then probably like Taunt, Defog, and other support moves, but I really only need 4 attacks. Could have ran Defog, but I didn't love it. I wanted coverage. And this thing can take special hits from... You can even take hit from Roserade, take hit from Thundy, which is really nice. Allows me to chew hits from Heatran, and as well as I can chew hits... not chew, but I can like take hit from Lele, and... Even like Rotom, I can chew a Volt Switch, and any other special attacks that come my way, Fini can just chew them. And I don't need lefties, especially if... You know, I just don't need lefties, and I think Assault Vest is going to be helping me more to just take less damage in the first place instead of healing back damage slowly. So I think Fini is better with the Assault Vest in that regard. So next we got my Celebi, my dedicated Lele switch-in / check. So Psychic, Leaf Storm, U-turn, and Stealth Rock. So we have enough speed for Lele, that is. So Leaf Storm lets me hit that thing pretty hard. Originally I had Shadow Ball, and I liked Shadow Ball, but I feel like Leaf Storm is better overall. It's more, it's just more freer, that's English, to spam versus his team. Mandibuzz can still switch into either anyways, but I can just pivot out the following turn, and I can outspeed that thing, just get off chip. So that's fine, and Leaf Storm just lets me hit, make a Steelix harder, pressure that, and Claydol, I guess, if that comes, and you know, even anything I can switch into Leaf Storm, I can just pivot out against the following turn, and it's fine. And it does more to Lele anyways than Shadow Ball would, so it's fine. The spread, I'm forgetting what it's for, honestly. I can't think what the spread's for. I want to say the Cassid Berry, by the way, is the Ghost Berry, so I can take a Shadow Ball from Lele. I think the HP allows me to live like a Moonblast plus Shadow Ball from Life Orb Lele, I want to say. I honestly forget, and the rest into special attack, I think. Maybe it was invested so special attack does something. I forget, honestly. I'm sorry, but it has some purpose there than speed for Lele, as I said earlier. So next we got my Dragology here. So Payappa Berry with Sludge Wave, Draco, Hidden Power Ground, Dragon Pulse. So this thing is a lure for the Tapu Fini, as well as Payappa could help me versus the Thundurus, and if I can keep this thing around late game, then potential Thundurus with any setup could be a little bit less scary He'll probably run, I don't think he needs Nasty Plot, probably agility if he needs any setup, just because he doesn't quite need power and he just needs speed to outspeed my stuff, so probably agility if anything, but if not, probably Scarf. So these 4 attacks just let me hit everything on his team. I could have carried Surf or Hydro to hit Mega Steelix, but I don't totally expect that, and I can still chip down with Hidden Power Ground, and even Draco Dragon Balls does some chip damage, and I can pressure it with other things on my team like Celebi and Feeny, which are both decent switch-ins too. And then, you know, Sludge Wave just lets me hit Lele and Rotom and, you know, a lot of things on his team. And Draco and Dragon Pulse. Draco is just a nice nuke, lets me do some decent damage to Mandibuzz, and then Dragon Pulse can just be freer, and I don't have to be a -2 and then allow something to potentially set up. But yeah, next we got my Scizor here. So Scarf Scizor, this thing is meant to check the Lele. So one really bad thing about Lele in this matchup is he gets the Psychic Terrain, which means that my Bullet Punch will not work. So that is bad. But if I'm Scarfed, I can outspeed him. Now he might not be totally expecting Scarf. I can probably U-turn versus Lele, or anything else I can scare out. I can just pivot and then bring in something else that'll scare out whatever he brought in versus me. Iron Head, Bug Bite, Thief, pretty nice coverage for his team. Thief I have over knockoff just to hit a Thundurus with a Z Crystal, because that'll be doing more, and I get the Technician boost. If he's running an item that's not a Z Crystal, so a Scarf or maybe Life Orb, the knockoff would do more, but Thief is still fine and still does almost as much. And even though I'm not stealing whatever he'll be holding because I have my Scarf, then I'll still get the boost from Technician. So it's still a base 90 power Dark move, and it's still pretty nice to spam versus his team, which is really nice. So yeah, that's the team there. Wasn't a super long team builder, but I didn't intend for it to be super long. But yeah, let me get into the battle in just a second. Alright guys, so I'm back with the battle as you can see here. So I'm bringing the 6-8 adjustment over, and he brings the Rotom Wash, the Roserade, Mandibuzz, Thundurus, T-Lele, and the Mega Steelix. So wasn't totally expecting the Steelix to come. I thought maybe Heatran or Komodo in that slot, but that's okay. We're probably free, or he probably has Rocks. I was gonna say, like, I'm probably free to think he's Rocks, but he has Rocks, probably, on Steelix, so that makes sense. So my lead's just Scizor, because I can probably U-turn versus almost anything, so I'm just gonna lead Scizor. He leads Thundurus. I'll put the game on fast. I had it normal, but I'll put it on fast for now. So he's gonna click U-turn and go right into Steelix, which makes sense, because I click U-turn too. So I'm gonna bring in my Feeny, and let me just pause here. So that first turn is actually really nice for me, because I know he's Scarfed because I'm Scarfed, and I was invested just enough to outspeed that Thundurus. I forgot to mention that in the team builder. That was the only thing I really need to outspeed with my speed, because that's the fastest thing on his team. So I'm invested just enough in my Scizor to outspeed that. So I know that he's Scarfed, and he does not know that I'm Scarfed, and he also does not know that I know that he's Scarfed. So that is a really nice turn for me. The damage on Thundurus was kind of helpful. Or no, I didn't get any damage on Thundurus. Sorry. He got a bit of trip on me, but doesn't really matter. So I can bring my Feeny and scare out the Steelix, and I'm just going to go for Nature's Madness, as if he has Spadef, that's going to be doing like the same amount of Surfwood anyway. So I get off a nice 50% on the Roserade. He has Black Sludge, so it's not Life Orb, so it's good to know. So I'm gonna go right on my Scizor here. I thought, you know, I could go like my Dragology here. I thought about that, and I kind of wanted to, but I thought if he wants to make a play and, you know, think that'll switch out, I think he'll click like a Psychic move. Like, he gets Extra Sensory, and he'll probably have Hidden Power Fire, so he can't run Hidden Power Psychic. So he could go for that, predicting that to come in, but I think Scizor is a safer play just because it covers anything bar Hidden Power Fire, and I don't think he goes for Hidden Power Fire there, as I could safely go into my Dragon there to Hidden Power Fire. So I think he's not going to click Hidden Power Fire, as he actually doubles into Lele, which is completely fine with me. I guess he did predict me to go into my my Dragology, so that makes sense too. So here, I could have just Iron Headed and just knocked him out, unless he was like the Steel Berry, which is Braviary Berry. I could have just gone for that, but I thought he'd maybe switch, or I don't know, even if he did stay in, I can still get off good damage with the U-turn. So let's go for U-turn, as he does actually stay in, which is kind of unfortunate for me, because I could have just knocked him out, but that's not the worst thing ever, as I can, well, I could have potentially gone to my Celebi, which would allow me to get up Rocks, but actually go hard into Houndoom, as I'm expecting. So since he stayed in, he has to go for Hidden Power Fire. Has to. Maybe Psychic, since the terrain's up, and that'll still do good damage, but I would think he's got to go for Hidden Power Fire. He ends up going for Psychic, which is fine too. I would have liked the Flash Fire boost, but that's okay. So I have a free turn from Mega Houndoom to potentially knock out Lele, but he would switch, as I knew he did. So I just go for Dark Pulse. I thought Rotom would come in, because I thought he predict Fire Blast and go into Rotom. But I mean, that makes sense, he went right into Mandibuzz. So, from the damage, we can scout that he is, like, fully Spidef. So, that's good to know. It's good to scout this set here, because he could have been, like, physically defensive for Lando, or Hariyama, or, like Steelix, potentially. I mean, yeah, some other physical threats. Like Scizor, too, I guess. So, I mean, he's Mega Steelix or Scizor, so he still could have been physical for, like, Lando, so it's just good to scout and see that he's specially defensive. So, my team has a bit harder of a time breaking a specially defensive Buzz here, so this is going to be a little bit difficult for me to break, so I'm going to need to keep my Feeny around, and maybe a trick with, yeah, maybe a trick a Scarf onto it. So, not with Feeny, with my Miss Magus has Scarf. So, I can maybe trick that later. So, right now, I just click Fire Blast, I think, because I can stay in and I can take any hit this thing wants to go for, as he just decides to pivot out into his Rotom here, which makes sense. So, I got off some damage on Mandibuzz, and that thing's kind of low right now. It's in range of Fire Blast to it KOing it, which is really nice. So, here, the Volt Switch is really obvious, especially as he gets a free Volt Switch. I have nothing that I can bring in that'll take nothing from Volt Switch. It'll get off some damage and he'll be able to pivot versus anything. So I really wanted to stay in and just click Dark Pulse and do like 40% at least. Or it would allow me to scout his head if he's physically defensive. It did, I think, around 40, like 38 to 45 maybe, something like that. But I just make a safe play into Celebi here as he does click Volt Switch. So I could have stayed in and it would have done like 20-25%, I think. But if I click higher, then I just die and I lose Houndoom, which I don't want to. But I mean, keeping Houndoom at that health is actually pretty nice, because if I took the Volt Switch, then I think I'm in range of Thunderbolt from Thundurus, which we know is Scarf. So keeping Houndoom, right, or at least right now, out of range of Thunderbolt from Thundurus is nice. So he brings in Mandibuzz on the Celebi, which makes sense. I'm just gonna, I click Rocks, predicting him to Roost, as he does Roost, so we get some intel on the set. He's Roost and U-turn, so I just U-turn here, just because I can go into Feeny and I can scout if he's Defog, and he does have Defog, so that's annoying. So I'm gonna have an even harder time breaking this, because I'm gonna have trouble keeping Rocks up, because my Rocker brings this thing in and he can just Defog on my Rocker all day. So it's gonna be pretty difficult. So I'm probably gonna have to trick this thing, which makes Thundurus a little more annoying, but I'm gonna have to keep something around for Thundurus. So he goes right into Roserade. I click Ice Beam, pretty safe play versus Mandy or Roserade, as he does go into Roserade. We have some good damage. So here, I do actually stay in and click Ice Beam again. So I did that because I could take any hit from Roserade and knock it out. Now, one thing that, if I recall correctly from the calc, that my Ice Beam was doing little enough damage. I had to be like almost max Spidef, meaning that I would have actually outsped him. Now, I didn't realize that at the time, or think about that when I stayed in to potentially knock that thing out, but that is something that I have to keep in mind, I guess. But yeah, Rotom's just able to come in on the Ice Beam and chew it, so it looks like he's physically defensive from that. I'm just going to click Madness, as I can chew a Volt Switch, as he does 26%, but that's nothing. Shows that he's just physically defensive, no special attack investment at all. That's really nice, so I was able to get Rotom chipped down, and it's at 47 right now, so that's really nice. So in comes Thundurus. He could just click Volt Switch right here, which is really scary. I'm going to go into this, as he does click U-turn, which makes sense. I wasn't staying in, most likely. I could have lifted T-Bolt, but I didn't want my Feeny getting really low, as then I'm in range of a lot of things on his team. I wanted it's still nice to keep healthy, because he is like Steelix and like Mandibuzz I don't want to keep it around for. So he brings in Lele. Now he does not know my set, and I can actually live. I think I can live like a Spec Psyshock from full, or like a Life Orb Psyshock after Rocks. And he does go for Psychic, and he is Life Orb, which we do see, but I can live it because of my Pyappa, which is really cool. So that's nice, because Lele is gone. Lele was a big threat, but that's kind of bad, because this thing's really weakened now, and Thundurus can just knock this thing out, and if it is, well, it's not set up with Thundurus, we know that, but still, Scarf Thundurus is pretty scary, and can spam T-Bolt a little more freely versus my team, because one of my two T-Bolt checks being this and my Celebi, this thing is really weakened and in T-Bolt range. So here, I'm going to switch out, predicting an HP Ice. It actually goes for Volt Switch, which I guess makes sense, but it actually was not going to kill there. So I thought he'd go for Hidden Power Ice, or maybe at least Hydro, because Volt Switch was not going to kill, actually. Or I think it was a roll, but I'm pretty sure it was a roll in my favor. So, you know, it is what it is. So he just brings some Mandibuzz, which is fine here. So I'm thinking this is my opportunity to trick. I need to trick this thing, because this thing is annoying, and it's fat, and my team's going to have trouble breaking this, especially if I need Feeny to take on something else, and Feeny gets low or is dead. So I'm just going to trick here, as I'm gonna get off the trick and going to give him a scarf, which is nice. I get lefties, which is cool, but I die to a foul play crit here. Crit was a little bit unfortunate. I would have lived a foul play, and assuming he didn't have a lot of speed, which I don't think he did. He needed like a lot of speed to outspeed me with that scarf, because I would have outsped him most likely. I didn't see his team, but he would have needed like, I want to say around 100 speed or so, maybe a little less, but like the standard showdown calc set has like 52 speed, which, I mean, that's not saying how much speed he has, but still, he needs a lot of speed to outspeed me, and I don't think he had that much. So I could have at least gotten off some damage with the power gem, which could have helped me weaken this thing down later, but that's okay. At least I can bring in Feeney right here for free. So it's 5-5 right now. I'm just going to click Moonblast. He goes into Steelix, which is, I guess, makes sense predicting Moonblast, but I'm just going to go for Surf here as he doubles into Rotom, which is a pretty nice play just to pivot, just so we can get a switch into Rotom. So here it's most likely out of range of Moonblast, and I don't want to take more damage from a Volt Switch because I would like to keep Feeney healthy enough to where it can live a T-Bolt from Thunderous, which at this range of health it still can. So I'm going to go right in my, I'm going to go right into this, my Dragalge, to sack it off. I actually lived the Volt Switch, which I would have earlier, so I guess I did a bad job at sacking it off, but he brings in Thunderous the following turn and gets a freest, just freeze pivot of his life and kills Dragalge there. So in comes Mandibuzz as I bring in Feeney, he just clicks that to pivot and do Roserade as I clicked Moonblast there. Originally I clicked Ice Beam. I thought originally I clicked Ice Beam predicting that, or just a nice middle ground play if he wanted to stay in for whatever reason. But then I thought, you know what, he can probably just go into Rotom and sack that thing off, but he actually goes into this. So the one time I didn't click Ice Beam, he goes into this, which is unfortunate. Like, all like those kind of plays I've lost this game, like, kind of 50-50s per se. I mean, you're not like 50-50s necessarily. I mean, they kind of are, but like, I don't know, not in a traditional sense, I guess. But like, I could have clicked Ice Beam there, but I clicked Moonblast, so he can actually live that now. I should be able to outspeed him. So what do I do? Did I click Ice Beam? What did I do? No, I should have clicked Ice Beam, because I'm pretty sure I outspeed actually just based on the bulk that I think he needs to have. So I think Ice Beam would have killed there, so I probably could have stayed and gone for that. But he did not. I did not ask him to send me his team, so I'm not certain on that. But I was bringing my Scizor for free, knowing that he's probably going to heal there as he does. So I'm just going to U-turn here, as he does stay in, which I didn't expect. I thought he'd bring in Steelix, but he just stays in and clicks that again to heal. I'm not really sure why. I guess I don't really get the logic behind it. Like, I don't know. Maybe he misclicked. Wait, did he misclick? I think at one point he misclicked. No, it wasn't. Okay. I don't know. I'm not really sure why he did that. I just clicked Dark Pulse there in case he wanted to go into Rotom. And even if it goes in this, I can still chew hits from it. And I actually outspeed this thing. I just don't want to miss Fire Blast there because I'm not quite yet in range to 2KO. I need 2 Fire Blasts because of Dark Pulse, I think. So I end up flinching him there, so lucky and bad. But he actually does everything to hit me. No Brave Bird. Because, yeah, we saw Foul Play, U-turn, Roost, and Defog. So we know he's not a Brave Bird, which... and I thought he would have brought Brave Bird, but he didn't. So I guess that is what it is. I'm just going to be able to 2K him with Fire Blast. Shockingly, I hit. I hit 3 Fire Blasts out of 3 this game. I'm shocked. So yeah, he clicks that there just to pivot. So okay, yeah, he cannot kill me that range, so it makes sense why he brought in Thundy, got off the damage, now I'm in range to die to T-Bolt. So Mega Houndoom just going to be able to kill something else on his team. I click Dark Pulse twice and knock out Steelix. So Steelix, he pivoted like into it. Yeah, he switched into it like 3 times, but it was not able to Mega because he kept doubling out. But I'm finally able to knock him out. As he finally Megas, but he dies anyway. So at this range, so Thunderbolt knocked me out. So I'm thinking it's his play to click Thunderbolt, because if he wants to predict me to switch and click U-turn, like he actually does, if I stayed down, I would have been able to live that and pick up another kill with Houndoom. So, I mean, I guess that was a 50-50 there. Because if I switch, then that's a pretty good play on his end, as he can bring in Rotom. He can bring in, I guess, Roserade, which I do outspeed and can knock this thing out with Psychic, but he makes a good play back into Thunder. So I clicked Rocks, which was kind of helpful, but I think actually in hindsight, I think Psychic was the play there, as it, I think, knocked out... Actually, I don't know if it knocked out Roserade, but it allowed me to get off a lot of damage on Roserade to keep it low. I wanted Rocks up just so we can't keep pivoting with Thunderous, but at this point, my T-Bolts, or my T-Bolt switch-ins are kind of gone, so we can just spam T-Bolt at this point, as it's going to knock out Celebi. So he doesn't need to pivot a whole lot anymore, so I think Psychic was my play in hindsight. Bit of a misplay there. Play with Houndoom switching, yeah, when I switched out from Houndoom into this, I don't think it was a misplay on my end. That was a 50-50. I guess I just lost a 50-50. I really thought he clicked T-Bolt just because otherwise then he loses another Mon. And I mean, I guess he could have sacked Rotom, and he didn't lose a whole lot from doing that, and he just brings Thunderous back in. And I don't think U-turn kills at that range either, so we have to click T-bolt again. In that case, like maybe go into Celebi on that turn, but I don't know. He put U-turn as I switch into Celebi, so what happened happened. Whatever. So here, I'm just gonna sack off Celebi. I can't switch in anything else. So this is looking scary. So I'm going to Scizor, so I could have brought in Feeney and lifted T-bolt and gotten off some good damage with Ice Beam, but that would not have killed. Now an Ice Beam plus an Ice Beam from Feeney plus a Thief from Scizor will kill this thing. Now if I did have Knockoff, that actually would have helped me a little more here, as Knockoff would have allowed me to get rid of this thing's Scarf, which then would have allowed Houndoom to outspeed it, and then Houndoom could have just won. So if I had Knockoff, this would have been a lot easier. But I'm just going to go for Thief, as he actually goes in Roserade. I don't totally get why, again, because, I don't know what he's predicting there. Maybe a Dark, I don't know what he was predicting. I guess he was stacking off Roserade, but he didn't need to, as he was locked into the move that he'd be clicking anyway, so he brings in Rotom. I think maybe if I got like a Min roll, I think he maybe could have lived, but anything but that, I could have knocked him out with Thief, and because I was adamant. Yeah, because if I was Jolly, I think it was a roll in his favor to live with Rotom, but I was adamant, so I knocked him out, so it's just Thundurus versus the world, and as long as he does not crit either Scizor or Feeney, can need both of them to live and then get off the damage, then I can win. So he's not crit Scizor, Scizor goes for Thief, gets off a lot of damage. That thing is definitely in Ice Beam range from from Feeney. And then I did not have Bullet Punch on Scizor either. I could have had it, but I didn't want it because I thought I wanted my other moves, and you know, if he had the Psychic Terrain up, then Bullet Punch was doing nothing. So Bullet Punch would actually help me there, as I could have just like sacked off Houndoom or Feeney or whatever, and then brought Scizor back and clicked Bullet Punch. But here I have to risk him not critting me. Don't have Sucker Punch on Houndoom either. Kind of consider that, but I feel like the 4 moves I brought on Houndoom still make a lot of sense. So he is locked in T-bolt, as he does go for that. Thankfully, he does not crit, so I'm going to be able to Ice Beam, knock him out, and we do win in a 2-0. So that was a really close game. So GG to my boy Napey. That was a good game though, bro. It was 38 turns, kind of long, not super long, but good game, man. 2-0, really close one. If I had Knockoff, that would have helped me, but I understand why I had Thief. Like, it was, I guess if he wasn't Z Crystal and Thundy. But that was still a fun game. He won, like, all those kind of 50-50s. I don't know, even all of them, but, like, a lot of them. It was kind of frustrating. Because, like, especially that one time when I could have knocked out Roserade, but, you know, I clicked Moonblast as he went to Roserade the one time. He went to Roserade multiple times before, but, like, once Roserade was weakened, then he went to Rotom multiple times, and then I was picking him to go into Rotom there, but, you know, it is what it is, and then that won 50-50 as I switched out from Houndoom into Celebi. That was a good play on his end, I guess. I mean, like, I guess it was a good play because it worked out, but if I stayed in and just hacked off Houndoom, which I didn't really need Houndoom just because it just died to Thundy at that point, and I did not have Knockoff and Scizor. If I did have Knockoff and Scizor, my play was definitely to keep Houndoom around, as Houndoom could have just won if I could knock off the Thundy, but I didn't. So Houndoom, I maybe could have sacked off just in case we did want to try to predict me to switch. Then staying with Houndoom could have actually been a really nice place. I could have picked up another kill, but I mean that didn't really come into play because Rotom just came in on rocks and just died to Thundy. And like even if let's say he didn't bring in Rotom at all versus the Scizor, let's say after he sacked off Roserade, he brought in Thundy, and then he goes for T-bolt, gets off the damage on Scizor, Scizor knocks out Thundy, then Feeney lives a hit, knocks out Thundy, and then Rotom, his Rotom was outsped by my Feeney, so I can knock him out with Moonblast. Even if Feeney didn't outspeed, then I still found him around to Dark Pulse that, so it didn't matter if he sacked off Rotom. So I guess in that regard, like him sacking off Rotom was kind of free, so it didn't matter if I did stay in with Houndoom that one turn, because then he just sacks off Rotom and it's whatever. But then the following turn, I'm still not in range of another U-turn, so, yeah, whatever. But GG again, still a close game. So next week we are playing Flame Doge. I believe his name's Flame Doge, not Flame Dog 3. So he's a cool guy. Coach of the Venice Victinis. I don't know. I think he lost week 1, so that's, I don't know, the thing. But yeah, we're going to be playing him next week. That'll go up on Tuesday. Probably the same kind of deal with a short team builder than a little post-com. But yeah, I will see you guys then. Peace out.